Hello and welcome students. In the last video lecture, I had completed chapter number 2 of accountancy. Now in this video lecture, I am going to start with the new chapter, that is chapter number 3, Introduction to Goods and Service Tax. In short, we are denoting it as GST, that is Goods and Service Tax. Now students, this is totally theoretical chapter. Only MCQs and short answers will be asked from this chapter. But this chapter is important for the subsequent chapters because based on GST, practical sums are asked in the subsequent chapters, that is of journal entries and subsidiary books. Okay, so this chapter is important for the consecutive chapters. Now, which topics are to be covered in this chapter? Let us have a glance over it. As you can see on your screen, that is introduction, meaning and special features of GST, supply of goods or services or both, benefits of GST and rate of GST, and the last one, that is terminologies of GST. Now students, this GST tax or the goods and service tax that was implemented in the year 2017 in place of the previous tax, that was value added tax, that is called VAT, that is value added tax. Now, why this new tax was implemented by the government? Previously, in the year 2005, the VAT was implemented by the government. Mainly, the main limitation of this tax was that it was charged tax at each and every level of production till the goods finally reaches to the consumer. So ultimately the burden of tax was increased towards the consumers. So in order to reduce that burden of tax on the consumer, there was one unified or uniform tax structure that was implemented throughout the country, in which the state and central government would divide the tax into 50%. So actually the burden, to reduce the burden of tax for the consumer, the new tax structure was implemented, and that was goods and service tax in the year 2017. Okay, so let us first of all understand the introduction of this chapter. That is, to meet economic needs of the country, taxes are collected by the government. You are very well aware why the taxes are being collected by the government, because that is the main source of income for the government. In order to make the many kinds of reforms in the country, or to implement the benefits or many of the facilities the government is giving, that is expenses made by the government, that is on the basis of the tax income only. So that is the main source of income for the government. These rates are categorized into two categories: direct taxes and indirect taxes. Basically, there are two types of taxes, that is direct and indirect taxes. Now, what is direct taxes? Students, any of the businessman or any of the person has to pay the income tax. Income tax means directly on whatever income he is earning, he has to pay certain proportion or certain percentage of his income as tax to the government. So that is called direct taxes. And indirect taxes means any kind of sales tax, any kind of entertainment tax, excise duty, import duty. These are all called the indirect taxes. Indirect taxes are collected by central government, state government, and government of union territories. You are very well aware that in our country there is central government and state government and even government of union territories. In Indian context, different types of taxes were collected by different governments because of variety of indirect taxes and compliance of their separate legal provisions. From the viewpoint of its management, it was very complex affair for government, tax authority, and taxpayers. As different types of taxes were applicable, various kinds of indirect taxes were applicable in our government. So the legal provisions or the amount of tax or the percentage or the provisions for these taxes was differing from state wise from the type of taxes. So it was very much complicated for the government, for the tax authorities, and even for the taxpayers. So to eliminate these complexities in indirect taxes, instead of having different provisions of central government because there were different provisions for central government, for state government, and for union territories. To eliminate these complexities, a new tax was introduced with the slogan that is "One Nation, One Tax." It means uniformity was maintained in the tax structure in the entire country, and that tax structure was known as Goods and Service Tax, that is GST Act. It became effective from 1st July 2017. Students, you have to remember the slogan also and the date and the year from which this tax was implemented. Now, previously the indirect taxes of central government, that were central sales tax, excise duty, custom duty, service tax. Indirect taxes of state government, the first one that are taxes of central government, and the second one that are indirect taxes of state government and union territories, that is VAT, value added tax, purchase tax, sales tax, entertainment tax. Now the summation of both these taxes, that is equal to GST. It means now individually the central government will not charge different taxes and the state government will not have different provisions for the taxes. So in order to have the uniformity in the tax structure in the entire country, a new tax was implemented by the government of our country on 1st July 2017, that is GST. You can see last it is written, old taxes are withdrawn or cancelled, and in place of that the new tax structure, that is GST, was implemented, came into effect from 1st July 2017. The next one, let us understand the meaning and special features of GST. What is the meaning of GST? Different taxes of central government and state governments are withdrawn. Already we have seen that different structures or different taxes were applicable separately by the state government and separately by the central government, are covered under one tax. All these goods and service related taxes which were separately implemented by the central government and state governments are now covered under one tax heading. This tax is known as goods and service tax. Tax which is applicable on supply of goods and services is known as goods and service tax. Your word is important, that is supply of goods and services. Actually when the goods are sold, the tax is not applied, but actually when the goods are supplied to the customer or the services are supplied to the customer, at that time the goods and service tax is implemented. The special features of GST are as follows. First one tax. Goods and services are covered under one tax only. It means separate taxes are not there for goods and separate taxes are not there for services. There is a common tax applicable for goods and services. Second one, that is tax collection on supply. Tax is collected on supply of goods and completion of services instead of tax collection on production or sale of goods or providing of services. Previously, when the goods were produced at each and every stage of production, and even when the goods were sold to the consumers, also the tax was levied. But now only when the goods are supplied or when the services are supplied, at that time only the tax is collected from the consumers. So the burden has been reduced. Third one, that is GST Council. Entire operation and regulation of GST are done through GST Council. There is a special committee or council has been prepared to regulate the tax structure of GST. Each state has representation in GST Council. It means this is a country level tax applicable for the whole country. So representatives from each state are involved in the GST Council. The finance minister of center works as chairman of this council, and the head of this GST council is the finance minister, who acts as chairman of this GST council. Next one, that is GST rates. All GST rates are recommended by the GST council. The representatives of each states are involved or included in the GST council, and this GST council decides the rates of GST. It means the confirmation or the recommendation is taken by each and every representative of the state. Next one, fifth point, import and GST. Import of goods and services are treated as interstate supply. It means between two states. Import of goods and services are treated as interstate supply. Next one, that is input tax credit. GST paid on purchase is allowable deduction from sale of goods and sale of goods and services. It means if we have paid the GST at the time of purchase, then while at the time of selling of those goods, that tax is deducted, is allowable deduction. So naturally the burden of tax will be reduced at the time of selling of goods and services. Next one, that is tax distribution. An appropriate tax distribution system for central and state government is made available in this text. It means the structure of tax distribution between the central and state government is specified clearly under this tax structure of GST. Next one, that is tax determination. All tax rates on goods and supply are determined on the basis of head of goods and services. It means the related head of the concerned goods and services are consulted, and on that basis only the tax structure has been determined, the amount of tax rate has been determined on the goods and supply. Then afterwards, ninth point, predetermined tax rate structure. For applicable tax rates, predetermined tax structure is made available. It means already the format has been decided as to how much amount of tax is to be collected by the central government, state government, and on which type of goods and services, what would be the tax rate. It means the tax structure is predetermined. Next one, 5 GST acts. In the context of GST, 5 acts are passed, but according to your syllabus, that topic we are not going to study because in syllabus that is not to be asked. Uniformity. 11th point, GST laws, rules, procedure and rate of taxes are similar across the country. That is the removal of the limitation of VAT. In the VAT or in the value added tax, the limitation was there that state wise the rules of tax structure was differing. In order to remove that limitation, the GST law was implemented in which the rules, procedure and the rate of taxes were similar throughout the entire country. For goods and services tax, the word GST is used. Okay, so in short form we are utilizing the word that is GST. Third point, that is supply of goods or services or both. Already we have discussed then when actually the goods are supplied or when actually the services are supplied, at that time only the GST is being charged. The terminology of supply is used in place of rule of goods and services or both. The supply of goods or services or both are supplied within the state, union territory, outside the state or union territory. It can be disclosed as follows. It means the goods or services can be supplied within the state or union territory, or it can be even supplied outside the state or union territory. We'll discuss both the points in detail. As you can see on your screen, the tabular form is given to you, that is supply of goods or services or both. Now supply, if within the state or union territory, it means within own state or union territory. Suppose goods within the Gujarat state itself, if the goods are supplied from Rajkot to Ahmedabad, then it is called intra-state supply. This terminology is very important to understand, that is intra-state supply. And if the supply out of the state or union territory, suppose the goods from Gujarat state is supplied to Karnataka or supplied to Madhya Pradesh, then it is called interstate supply. Within the state or within the union territory, then it is called intra-state supply, and between two states or two union territories, then it is called interstate supply. Now in case of intra-state, means within the state or union territory, then which kind of taxes are leviable? That is central goods and service taxes and state goods and service taxes. It means CGST and SGST. While students, you are going in DMart or any of the mall, you might have seen in the bill that two different types of taxes are applicable in the bill, along with the total amount of the purchase that we have done, that is CGST and SGST. So that is the two types of taxes when the transaction is done or when the purchase is done or selling is done within the state itself. While in case of transaction or dealing or selling is done between two states or two union territories, then only one tax is being applicable, that is integrated goods and service tax. The short form of it is IGST. Okay, so within the state or union territory, then CGST and SGST, and between two states or two union territories, then IGST. Okay, now let us understand this in detail. Supply within own state or union territory. Under this category of supply or purchase or sell, the supply of goods or services or both are confined to own state or union territory. It means under this, the goods are supplied or services are supplied within one state or union territory, within the state or union territory itself. There are two taxes applicable under this type of supply, that is CGST, central goods and service taxes, that are given to the central government, and state goods and service taxes that is available to the concerned state government, that is STGS, or it is called generally SGST, CGST and SGST. Okay, now next let us understand this with an example. Here it is given to you the example, that is goods of rupees 10,000 is sold by the trader of Ahmedabad to the trader of Rajkot. It means 10,000 worth of goods that are sold by the trader of Ahmedabad to the trader of Rajkot. The GST rate is applicable, that is 12%. Here GST will be levied and collected on 10,000 at 12%. So on 10,000 12% will count, then it would come to 1200. So 50% will be recorded as CGST, that will go to the central government. Remaining 50% will go to SGST, that is to the concerned state government, that is Gujarat state government. Now rupees 600, 6% of 10,000 is known as CGST and is of central government, and for Union Territory it is known as Union Territory Goods and Service Tax, that is UTGST. Okay, here it is state government, so we'll utilize the word that is SGST. If it is the Union Territory, then the word UTGST will be utilized. Okay. The second one, that is 600 rupees, 6% of 10,000 is known as SGST. That will be available to the concerned state government and a respective state, here Gujarat government. If this transaction was done with Union Territory Chandigarh, then in this case rupees 610% will be collected as UTGST. It means in place of the transaction with the Gujarat government, if the transaction was taken place in the Union Territory, suppose Chandigarh, then 600 rupees, the amount of tax collected, that would be collected under the heading of UTGST. It means Union Territory of Goods and Service Tax. Okay. Next point, that is the supply outside the state or union territory. It means the transaction or the supply of goods when done between two states, then only one tax will be applicable, that is IGST, Integrated Goods and Service Tax. For example, it is given over here, goods of rupees 10,000 is sold by the trader of Ahmedabad to the trader of Jaipur. It means from Gujarat state to Rajasthan, and the GST rate is applicable, that is 12%. Here GST will be levied and collected on 10,000 at 12%, that is 1200 will be recorded as IGST. It means only one type of tax will be levied, that is IGST, that is 1200 on at 12% on rupees 10,000. Then entire tax goes to central government. It means when the transaction takes place between two states, that is interstate supply, then the entire tax amount goes to the central government. When transaction of supply is done by the trader within our state or union territory is known as intrastate. Again, I am repeating, already we had discussed that when the transaction takes place within the state or union territory, then it is called intrastate supply, and when it takes place between outside the state or union territory, between two states or two union territories, then it is called interstate supply. Okay. Now, details of applicable GST. What are the terminologies that are generally short forms we are utilizing? So let us have a look over that terminologies. If there are transaction of purchase, it means acquisition, you are getting the goods or services or both. Then supply within own state or union territory, if that goods or services you are purchasing from within the state, then it is called input CGST and input SGST or UTGST. It means if it is within the state or union territory and you have purchased the goods from within the state or union territory, then the word input will be utilized. And if you have purchased, if you have supplied the if you have purchased the goods from outside the state or union territory, then input IGST will be utilized. In short, in case of purchase, the word input will be utilized, and in case of supply of goods or services, then the word output will be utilized. The tax name would be same. In case of transaction or purchase or supply within the state, then CGST and SGST or UTGST. But in case of supply outside the state or union territory, then only one tax, that is IGST, will be applied. But in case of purchase, the word input will be utilized, and in case of supply or sale of goods or services, the word output will be applied. In all subsequent chapters, above stated terminologies are used in the context of GST. These terminologies, that is input and output, CGST, SGST, UTGST, IGST, these terminologies are very important because, as I have told in the starting itself, that the subsequent chapters, that is in journal entries and subsidiary books, the practical sums are related to GST. So these terminologies will be applicable over there. Now let us understand the benefits of GST. As you have seen that the limitation limitations of VAT have been removed under this tax structure. Let us have the glance over the benefits. The first one, that is one tax. Previously, there were different tax structures applicable at different levels, and different tax structures for different state governments and even for the central government. To remove that difference or variation in the tax structure and to create a uniformity, this new tax structure, that is GST law, was applied. In place of different indirect taxes of central government and state government, these taxes are subsumed in one tax only, and that is GST. Next one, that is simple tax system. Indirect tax system becomes very simple due to withdrawal or elimination of different indirect taxes. This tax structure is quite simple compared to the different indirect tax system that was quite complicated for the government and even for the taxpayers. So comparatively easy and simple way of understanding the concept of GST. Next one, third one, that is removal of double taxation. Before implementation of GST, taxpayers had to pay double taxes, which is removed under GST. As you have seen in case of value added tax, at each and every stage of production till the goods reaches to the final consumer, the number of taxes were collected. So actually the burden of tax was increased on the consumer. So now because of that uniformity of GST law, the burden of tax has been reduced on the taxpayers. Next one, that is benefit of price reduction. GST implementation has brought price reduction in goods and services. Naturally, as the amount of tax would be more, then ultimately the consumers would have to pay more prices for the concerned goods and services. Now, because of the implementation of GST, the tax amount has been reduced. So naturally, it will be beneficial to the consumers due to reduction in the prices of goods and services. Then afterwards, the next topic, that is next point, that is fifth point, uniform prices. Uniform price system is emerged across the nation. Due to same amount of taxes, naturally the price system is also uniformed. Uniformity has been achieved in the price system throughout the entire country. Next, that is reduction in tax evasion. There is a reduction in size of tax evasion, and tax system has got success to establish transparency. It means due to one system or uniformity in the tax planning, the tax structure has been uniform and got success to establish transparent procedure in the collection of taxes. Input tax credit. GST paid on purchase is deducted from GST payable on sale. It means if you have purchased the goods, if you have purchased any of the raw material, at that time if we have paid the GST, then at the time of selling of those goods, we don't have to, with that tax, what we have paid on at the time of purchase will be deducted. So hence the taxpayer, ultimately this GST would be beneficial. Next one, useful for economy. Economy of the nation gets stable. Naturally, the stability of the economy of the nation will be maintained because of the uniformity in the tax structure. Ninth point, balanced regional development. The balanced development of region would take place and consequently regional imbalance would reduce. It means the gap between the rich and poor would be reduced to some extent because of the balanced development of each and every region. Next one, that is reduction in administrative work. There is significant reduction due to different or complexities in the tax structure. Previously, the work was becoming more complicated and difficult to handle. Now, due to uniformity, the administrative work has also been reduced and simplified. Last point, that is reduction in government operations. Naturally, if the tax structure was previously complicated, now due to uniformity and the simplification of the tax structure, the government work or operation has also been simplified. Now let us understand the rate of GST. Goods and services are covered under one indirect tax, that is known as goods and service tax. Under this act, different tax rates are determined on the basis of necessity of goods and services. The following GST rates for intra and interstate supply of goods and services, or both, that came into notification on the year 2017. Let us understand this table, and this structure is to be followed in the entire country. This you have to remember it by heart, that that is schedule and GST rate according to schedule 1, that is interstate or union territory supply, that is IGST, that is between two states or union territories, then 5%, and if it is within the state or union territory, then it would be divided equally between the state and the central government. That is CGST, that would be 2.5%, and SGST, that would be 2.5%. According to schedule 2, if the IGST rate, that is 12%, then CGST and SGST would be half of it, that is 6% and 6%. In the same way, if the schedule 3 is there, then 18%, and CGST and SGST would be half of it, that is 9%, 9%. Schedule 4, that is 28%, it would be equally divided if it is within the state or union territory between CGST and SGST, that is 14% and 14%. Schedule 5 and Schedule 6, Schedule 5, that is 3%, then CGST and SGST, that would be 1.5% and 1.5%. And last Schedule 6, that is if the IGST, that is 0.25%, then again half of it, that would be 0.125% and 0.125%. Note is given over here for special goods. If there are any special kind of goods, then the schedule 5 and schedule 6 will be applicable, that is 3% and 0.25%, and in case of supply for tax slabs applicable normal goods, the first 4 schedules will be applicable, that is 5%, 12%, 18% and 20%. And there are periodical changes in this tax structure, but these rates are shown, which are shown in your textbooks, that are at the time of the preparation of this textbook. So at present there might be certain changes, but we have to follow according to our syllabus. Now let us understand the terminologies of GST. That is supply, it is called purchase. It can be purchase or sell. Generally we are utilizing the word only supply. It may be purchase also, it may be sell also. Input central GST, that is CGST. That means if there is transaction related to purchase, then it is called CGST. And input state GST, it means state related tax, then it is called SGST. And union territory purchase, then it is called UTGST. And input integrated GST, it means purchase related transaction but between two states or two union territories, then it is called input IGST, that is integrated goods and service tax. And if it is sales or supply of goods within the state, then it is called CGST. And if the supply of goods is within the state, then it is called SGST. It means output central GST, it means CGST, and output state GST, it means SGST. Students, you have to remember these short forms, because in the practical sums in the subsequent chapters, these terminologies would be useful to you, okay, while doing the calculation of the sums. Now again revising, that is when the word input will be utilized at the time of purchase, and the word output will be utilized at the time of supply or the sale of goods. Okay, so last 4 terminologies that are remaining, that is output union territory GST. It means when the goods are sold and within the union territory, then it is called UTGST. And output integrated GST, it means when the goods are sold to another state or to another union territory, then it is called IGST. Intrastate supply and interstate supply. Intrastate supply, this I have repeated 3rd time, that is within the state or union territory, then it is called intrastate supply. And if the goods are sold or supplied outside the state or union territory, then it is called interstate supply. So that was the conclusion or the end of this chapter. Students, in the next video lecture, I'll be starting with the new chapter, that is chapter number 4. That is the main chapter of accountancy, where the practical sums actually will start. Till now, whatever 2 or 3 chapters that you have studied, that were all the basic, that were clearing only the basic concept of the accountancy. Now actually the practical sums will be starting from chapter number 4. So I hope students you have understood the terminologies and the concept of GST. In the next video lecture, we'll be starting with the chapter number 4. Till then, goodbye. Keep practicing. Stay blessed.